This is going to be a tutorial how to replace both tracks on each side of the Nintendo Switch V2. I am doing this because mine seem to be very on and off. Sometimes they connect, like that one did that time. Other times it doesn't, so this is going to be how to do it. This is what I bought, comes with everything you need, and it's only $10, so it's a very cheap fix. This will be linked in the description below. Let's jump right into it. First, you want to fully power down your Switch. You want to do this by holding the power button and go to power options, which it's hard to see, and press turn off. This will make sure it's pretty much fully off, and we'll move on to our next step. Second step is going to be removing your Joy-Cons one by one. Just set them off to the side. We don't need them right now. It's kind of difficult with one hand. And if you care about your screen, I'd put your actual device on a cloth or something, but mine's already scratched up, so I really don't care. Next, with the tools it came with, we're going to take off the back plate with our screwdriver thing. We just got to use the bits out of here, so take these out of the packaging. It's very hard to see, but you want to use the one that says S2Y1.5. That's the correct one. So you put it in your screwdriver, and then you take off the 1, 2, 3, and 4 screws to begin with. And if you're like me and broke your screwdriver, it's really easy. Just grab a pair of clippers of any kind, snip the top off, and use a screwdriver to push the magnet back to the front. That'll do the trick. Alright, let's keep moving. Alright, I got my first 4 screws out. Don't worry if you strip some. It comes with extras. They know you might strip some. Next, under your kickstand, which probably comes off very easily because everyone knows that kickstand sucks. You also got to take out your micro SD card. There's your last and final screw to get the back plate. Won't focus, but to get the back plate off, so let's take that screw off. After you're done with that screw, there are 2 screws down here that you shouldn't forget about. Once those are out, it comes right off, so let's do that. When taking the back plate off, don't forget to open this up so you can get everything off easily. I forgot to add one more thing. You gotta take off all these screws to open it up, as I forgot about it. Couldn't figure out why it wouldn't open, but it tells me right here. So make sure you take those off. Now you can use your fingers or the pry tool to open this up and get to the internal sides. Now that your back plate's off, this is a very good time to clean out all that dust that's everywhere on your device, so make sure you do this real quick. I personally stripped a screw, but with a little finicking, it came right out, so let's continue. I also did get most of the dust out of my system, so it should be good. Next, we gotta take off this metal cover, because you can see these wires go through there, so we gotta take off all these screws that you see. Once all your screws are removed, you want to carefully pry this up. Make sure not to damage this, as we'll unplug this once we have the chance to. As you can see, this simply unplugs from right there. And there is some thermal goop, but we don't have to worry about that. All we have to worry about is this pin and this pin down here. So let's get to that. Our next step is to unplug the battery, as this wire goes under here for this side. But this side just unplugs from here, so you want to flip this up. I gotta do it very, very carefully. And once that's up, this pulls right out and we can replace it. As you can see, it came right off, and this is the shorter one. So we want to put this to the side and go into our case and get the shorter one that it came with, which would be this one, and install the exact way it came out, which would be slide it in, and then we got to slide these pins into there, making sure the metal faces down. It's a very good idea to use your tweezers for this part. It'll make it a lot easier. After I successfully put the wire into the slot, I actually put 1 screw in. Make sure it's not this screw, otherwise we won't be able to get our cover on, but it just makes sure that we know it is safe and secure. Our next step is to unplug the battery, so we're going to grab our tweezers, and we're just going to slowly and carefully pop it out of its pin socket area. And it comes out very easily, and we push that to the side, and we're going to flip up this thingy very easily and carefully pull out the pin strip, just like we did on the other side, which is as easy as barely pulling. And it came right out. Perfect. So now we're going to do the same steps and replace it by plugging it in and all the sort of stuff. So I'll be back. And once that's done, you just want to reconnect your battery by using your tweezers or your finger, whatever you find easier. I'm just using a mixture of both. I'm going to line it up and just click it back in. At this point, I put a screw on each side and making sure that it works. I am going to quickly test boot it to see if they work. You don't have to do this if you trust yourself, but I'm just going to test boot it and see what happens. I am pressing and holding the power button now. The Nintendo logo popped up, so I at least can fully screw up the system. And once it powers on, I'll see if these Joy-Cons connect. Going for the left side now. Clicked in like beautiful. Let's go for right side. They both work, so now I'm gonna do once again. Hold down the power button, don't want to keep it on any longer. Power options, turn off. Alrighty, now we're going to reassemble the entire switch, and I will video that too if you don't know how to do it. Working our way back, we're gonna put the back cover on, but before we do that, we gotta put our metal mid-frame back in, which is as simple as lining up the holes and making sure that all of them are lined up. We don't want to mess anything up, especially with all that thermal paste. We are going to press down right here especially. We want to make sure that thermal paste goes back together. You can replace that, but I don't have any thermal paste on hand, so I'm not going to replace it. I'm going to once again grab our screwdriver and screw in at least a few of these screws to hold it down. Make sure not to over tighten them. And we are going to insert our chip that we took out earlier. This is our micro SD chip. You just want to line it up and you should feel it click in. It didn't click in that time. An easy way to do it is to line up this little notch right here, and you can even put the screw in if you want and press down until it clicks in. It's very close. Seems like mine's a little stubborn right now, so I'm going to put the screw in before I do this. Just pretty simple. It's one little screw. It's got to go in anyways. And then I'm going to just press down firmly on our little padding, which actually we can peel up. Geez, this is an old system, so it's very stubborn. I'm not sure if that clicked in, so I'm going to quickly test it. To test it, I am just going to insert our SD card, which goes facing down. I believe it's being stubborn. Oh, there we go. I had it in wrong. Should click into place, and then in here, system settings, data management. Okay, so the micro SD card slot did not clip in properly, so this is not recommended to do while it's on, so do this at your own risk. But I'm going to unscrew it and try again. So I'm going to look very closely down here and line up the pins. Which I don't know why it's not clipping in. Oh. That might have done the trick. Oh, there it goes. I heard it click in. And it's yelling at me. It's mad, so I'm going to quickly shut it off. Back. I'm going to hold our power button. Power options. Turn off. Alright, so now that clicked in, it did take more than one try, but it was no harm to the system. And we're going to carefully screw this screw in. Once again, like I said earlier, just try to put a lot of pressure on here if you don't change the thermal paste. It's not a big deal, but at the end of the day, you still don't want to lose any extra cooling that we have. There are ways to make the cooling better, but I'm not going to go through that today. If you're liking the video, make sure to follow and subscribe. I really appreciate it, as this is my first video in this tech world, and we are learning as we go. We're going to install the screws. There are quite a few of them. As long as you have the amount of screws that you took out easily on hand, you shouldn't miss one. You shouldn't. I'm not saying you won't, but I'm saying you shouldn't. These screws love to strip, so don't over tighten any of them. Just tighten them until it really just feels right. You shouldn't have to really push any pressure down. You just want them tight enough where stuff won't fall out. It is a handheld console, so it will have vibrations at times and can come loose, but usually that's not the case for these mid frames. Like there, it skipped. That's a sign of stripping, so that could be bad. Which this is a great time if you've ever thought about putting a different case on the back, like if that's a clear one or anything in those sorts. This is a great pardon me, this is a great time to do it. And once this screws in, you want to check all your screws, and then we'll move on to the next step. Next step is to add the back plate on, which you can see mine is pretty dusty. So I am going to use the included paintbrush to just get most of this dust off. It is going to make my desk dusty, but that worked out pretty good. And once again, you got to take this SD card out to put everything else back on. We only had it out so we could fix that one issue earlier. And we are going to gently set this down, which we are now going to screw in all the screws on this side and this side of the Joycon rails, as you can see. So I'm going to do that and come back. One of the last steps is for you to just go around the entire device and clip everything down. And right under the micro SD card slot, we're going to put one of these screws in. But as you can tell, it is a very small one. These got lost very easily, so they do include a bunch of replacements in the kit. Link in description, not sponsored or anything, that's just the one I used and it seems to work great. So let's just finish this off and put these screws in, which are a pain as they are very small and basically serve no purpose. But there's one there, and then the next two screws are right by the charging port. If you like this video, make sure to like it and subscribe. It shows some love, as this is a new channel. And I hope you guys find this very useful, as there's not very many in-depth videos. Not saying this is 100% in-depth, but I do appreciate every like and follow. And subscribe. As you can see, this screw is very finicky. And one of my next videos is going to be how to mod your switch, which stay tuned for that, as this is a V2 switch, which, as most people know, are decently hard to mod. Those screws go in, and we are on to our last and final step, which is to put these 4 screws in the original holes. So let's do that now, and I'll come back. And after inserting your micro SD card into its slot, and wherever I put the kickstand, grabbing your kickstand and putting it right in, which we all know is gonna fall off in about 5 minutes. And just like that, our Nintendo Switch is fixed. This was literally only 10 bucks, and shops would charge you a lot. And just to double check, once it powers on, we will see if can't speak today. both Joy-Cons work. That one does. And that one does. Everything is working as it should. Oh, just made it mad. But we got our Splatoon and everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.